Hello and welcome to Control Alt Record. My name is Chris, and with you for the next 60 minutes is myself, Brett, and Grax. No Michael tonight because his computer's died, and well, fuck him. Tonight we'll
feel the love.
Tonight we are going to start with our regular news segment. We're going to talk a bit about No Man's Sky, Jurassic World Evolution, and we'll wrap up with a quiz towards the end and whatever else happens in between. If you do like the show, please jump onto iTunes and give us a review and a rating. We'd love to hear from you. You can also check out our Facebook. Just search for Control Alt Record. And also jump on Twitter. Our handle is at CTRLALTRecord. And our Gmail is CTRLALTRecord@gmail.com. I'm pretty sure that was it. But that's it. We'd love to hear from you. Let's get into the show.
You're listening to Control Alt Record.
All right. So before we get into it, I want to have a quick acknowledgement to our listeners to sort of say, look, we haven't been around in the last few weeks. We've had a bit of real life things going on.
It's all Chris's fault.
It's all my fault. All my fault, apparently. But look, it started off. Brett went on holiday for a few weeks.
It's your fault that I went to America.
Yes, it's my fault that you went to America.
It's your idea.
After that, Grax went on a bit of a break, and then I myself actually moved from New South Wales to WA, and that just put on a bit of a delay. So getting us back into it. So thank you for being patient. We are back now and looking to bring you regular content. But on another personal level, in tonight's episode, for Brett and I, we actually started how long ago now doing podcasting?
A couple of years. Oh, 3 years.
We don't normally do personal stuff. It is all about the gaming, but I feel for us as a group, this is a bit of a, for me,
so
a personal
like a background music track.
A milestone.
Like,
I don't know, something like with like, I don't know, raindrops. Anyway,
whatever.
Tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds.
Get to the point.
So we started a podcast before this one a couple of years ago, and it was about a month before my wedding. That was the first time that we did it, and then since then, I actually moved from WA to New South Wales, and that was for 2.5 years. And so tonight is the first episode that we're recording in 2.5 years that Brett and I have actually sat in the same room. So it actually feels kind of weird. To me.
Yeah, it is weird.
It is a little bit weird to be in the same room as you recording this.
It's certainly weird because you're sitting on his lap, man. You should have separate
separate
Need more space.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. I'm just personal space invader. But yeah, it's a little bit weird. I don't know. This feels, I don't know, kind of nervous sitting across the room looking at you talk.
Because before we had when we first started, we were across in the same room and we didn't have any problems. And then we moved to a computer, like doing it on Skype or whatever. And it's like, this is weird. Now it's weird again.
It is. It's just been, but no, I think because when we first did start, we were in the same room with someone else at the same, recording off the table and in a mixer. But at that time, it was only for like 2 months. Yeah. And that's when I then abandoned and went to Sydney. And then
you left us.
But then for 2.5 years of the podcasting that we've been doing, 2.5 years we've spent, you're in here, Grax is over in his place, I'm over there, and Mike. So we've never actually been sort of in the same room. So it's, I don't know. To me, I just wanted to like, it's weird. It's weird. But anyway. So news tonight. So let's, NBN. So recently there's a little town.
Bullshit network.
Yes, that's the one. Oh, good one. Did you make up yourself or did you see that on the
internet? On the fly just then? Like
I don't think anyone has ever called it.
No, probably not.
That's 100% original Grax joke there.
So, if you're not familiar with, just sort of south of Wollongong, which is south of Sydney. So if you are an Aussie, you may know where Wollongong is. It's about, what is it, Grax? Hour and a half, 2 hours south of Sydney. And then
about an hour and a half.
Further beyond that, it's a little place called Kangaroo Valley. Now, what's so special
Beautiful
about
place.
them? Is it? Never been.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Oh, good to know.
How's their internet?
Nice.
How's their internet? Well, shitty, apparently.
Shit.
So what the residents and of Kangaroo Valley have done, have actually started a bit of a crowdfunding project to have their own NBN constructed and installed, because I think I believe that NBN was being installed, but it's of absolute terrible quality that they basically don't have. They don't have any internet whatsoever. So they've actually, all the residents have actually pledged about $1,000 each, and they've actually raised, I think their target was like $90,000 or $100,000, and they've exceeded that now, and they're actually getting their own NBN installed just for themselves. So how that's going to, I think that's pretty awesome of them. I think there were a couple of years ago, there was a place.
Can't wait to see how it turns out.
There's a photo on the article, and it's just some guy, and it's just like really like it's like this massive photo, and he's not the most photogenic looking guy.
No.
And
Do you ever
freaking
see?
me
Do
out.
you remember the Gungans from Star Wars?
Yes. yeah, it does look like a Gungan.
Boss Nass.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sort of like an ugly Gungan.
Yeah. No, at least he's got hair.
That's harsh.
Oh.
Hey, at least he's
I don't
getting
think he's not
NBN.
going to listen to this. Imagine if he listened to this, he's like, "Oh, you bastards!"
Yeah. I know. I think that's pretty cool. So a little town, a couple of hours south of Sydney, just taking their own initiative there because the NBN's it's not happening. It's rubbish. It's shit. And, they're taking matters into their own hands, which I think is pretty cool. So this seems to continue to, just grow, and they're continuing to just grow money into it. Or put money into it. And I guess that's really the only way you're going to get internet for some of these areas, even though the whole point of the NBN was to bring it to rural locations. I mean, I wouldn't even consider this Kangaroo Valley a rural location. It's not exactly in the middle of Australia, but anyway, cool. I just wanted pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. I just think
Maybe they should start selling some digital starships. They might get more money thrown at them for their NBN.
That's such a obscure joke.
Yeah.
So what Grax is talking about is like if they did their own version of Star Citizen, they might be able to raise $100 million, and they could just have direct optic fiber type thing, probably.
Maybe with any luck. Anyway,
Yes. Next up, so what else is happening? So I thought this was kind of cool, where recently there was a little thing called Guardian Con on that was happening in Florida. Now, what that is actually was a charity stream event. And the only reason why I think this was very cool was because they actually raised through donations $2.7 million. And this was for the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And I just thought that was kind of an interesting piece of sort of newsworthy news because, I mean, really to sort of see what gaming is doing for the world these days, I think a lot of people still have a stigma about gaming and how it's just for children. And particularly when I think on the news right now, you see a lot about the Fortnite stuff and, 12-year-olds.
that negativity of
and
bad press gamers get.
Yeah, you see it on, because recently in Australia, on a current affair, there was a big sort of stick about Fortnite and how it's like ruining children's lives and all this type of thing. And, but really, when you look at this was, $2.7 million was raised, for a children's hospital in Florida. I thought that is really cool and just shows you the power of gaming that people are willing to drop that kind of money.
I think it's disgusting. I'm offended.
He says with a stupid grin on his
Really?
face.
Are you channeling your inner Michael?
Yeah.
They should
have given that money to me. No, they should have given it to Star Citizen.
So I think
you understand, like they need the money. They need to develop faster.
Yeah, 5.5 years in development. Come on, hurry up.
Come on, guys. No one cares about kids. It's all about the starships.
And in this stream, there was actually one of the, I think one of the top Twitch streamers, his name's Ninja, actually pulled in, someone donated $100,000 in sort of one hit. So everyone else is, make everyone else, oh, here's my $10 towards the children's hospital. That's just chump change.
That? They can just drop $100,000 on.
Yeah, it's a sizable wad of cash.
It is.
Tax deductible donation though.
Oh,
are they laundering money through the donation?
Could be.
Boss.
But how is it laundering the money if you're just donating it? Because you just unless the children's hospital is actually drug den.
I can't comment on what goes on in America, man. Make America great.
So you're basically accusing them of it's not a children's charity. It's actually like some sort of cocaine smuggling operation.
I didn't say it.
And all the drug lords are just donating money to it. Well, I don't know. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I see what's going on.
Yeah.
So there you go. I thought, anyway, if it is legit,
way to turn a good thing bad.
I know. Way to just like ruin that. Anyway, so
I'm having a moment.
Coming up in October, Fallout 76 beta will be starting. Now, at this point, we don't think there's actually a official date in October as to when it will be commencing. It's just going to be what we believe is, or what we're sort of reading online is that it's going to be a rolling wave after wave of people being selected randomly to actually get access to the beta. Of course, at the moment, I believe the only way to get access to the beta is actually to
Pre-order
the game. And of course, if
who's pre-ordered it?
Sorry?
Who's pre-ordered it?
Hands up.
Grax.
Me.
Grax.
And
You
so
can't see me putting my hand up.
have you got an email from them or anything?
Yeah, I have. I've actually
What did
got
it say?
2 emails. Thank you for pre-purchasing or pre-ordering Fallout 76. You have successfully redeemed your Break It Early test application registry code. Additional instructions will be sent to you
I see.
via the Bethesda Net email address when the program is ready to begin.
Cool.
There you go.
So it's almost like
I've got 2 codes.
If you go pre-order it now, can you?
I think, yes, I think you could wait right up until October, I believe.
I'm kind of thinking.
I did read a thing, I think it was on Facebook from Bethesda the other day, where what Chris just said about they're randomly going to select people. And I don't know, well, I'm assuming that'll be randomly select people from the list of people that have pre-ordered and ramping it up to the point where everyone that's pre-ordered
I hope
will
you
have a
get
shot.
priority access because you spent. Didn't you buy the mega super duper?
Yeah,
kit with all the stuff?
yes, I may have pre-ordered the mega super
It
ridiculous
comes with a
pack.
helmet, doesn't it, or something? What was it?
What? Sorry?
It comes with a helmet, doesn't it?
Yeah, it comes with the power armor helmet. So when I
It's gonna
pre-ordered
be sitting
Fallout
there
4,
playing
I
it
got
with
the
that.
one with the Pip Boy.
we want photos
I'm
when
slowly-
November
I'm
and this game
slowly-
comes out and we're all playing it. I want to see a photo of you playing it with your helmet on.
100%.
Grax,
And-
you
and
guys,
my
you guys
Pip-Boy
might
from
make
Fallout
fun of
4.
me, but when there's nuclear holocaust and I've got my helmet and my Pip Boy, you guys are going to be fucked and you're not going to know
You
what
guys
to do.
are totally stuffed.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Grax is
So
always
anyway,
one step
so
ahead.
I'm looking forward to that.
I actually went
Should be
to
cool.
pre-order it myself because, I'm going to buy the game anyway. But when I went to the Bethesda website, $100 for the
Yeah.
base
Yeah,
game.
I didn't pre-order it from them. I went to, as soon as it was announced at E3, I went straight to the Bethesda website and had a look, and it was really glitchy because
Everyone was on
you know
it.
how American websites sometimes when you try and make it localized to Australia or whatever country you're in that's not America,
Oh, I just think
you
that was all the
you get
millions of people
currency
jumping on the
issues
website.
and other problems and stuff like that. So I skipped that and just waited till it appeared on EB Games and ordered it through them.
I think I'm just going to be patient and just wait for the full thing. It's like
Yeah, that's
betas
fair
are
call.
always,
Like you don't get.
they're always full. I mean, like Bethesda games aren't exactly known for being bug free anyway. So I'd rather.
I do
a more
love the
polished
fact
product.
that the way what they've called the beta is the Break It Early test application. Like just the little acronyms and stuff that they makes me laugh. The stuff they come up with, it's cool.
But the thing is, with the pre-order, unless there really is no point with the pre-order unless you want all the little extra bits, not the beta. It's almost like, who cares about the beta? Because if it's going to be in October and it's going to be rolling...
The game's in November, yeah.
Yeah, it's not even
and the
that.
game releases
Yeah.
November 14th. I'd rather wait for November 14th and see if something comes up on a website, we can buy it for like $60, $70, or if it pops out on Steam.
Well,
for
one of the
$80.
other reasons why I don't mind pre-ordering stuff through EB is you can choose to pay the whole thing in full, or you can just do like minimum 10% of the final purchase price, and then a week or so before the game's due to release, you can pay the rest. So it doesn't really cost you anything that much at the time, but you get the recognition of actually pre-ordering if
Did
you're
you say
after
you got
some
2
sort of
codes? Did I hear you say
exclusive
that,
DLC
Grax?
or whatever. But I actually pre-order stuff because I'd rather get it when I've got the cash and
Yeah, you want the
know
helmet.
that, okay, when it comes out, like, for example, World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth, I'm not super excited about that, but I've pre-ordered that and paid for it, and it's ready when it'll just turn up on my doorstep on the day before, you know what I mean?
Did you say you've
so
got... sorry, did you say you've got two codes?
2 beta codes, yeah, one for me and one for anyone who's nice. to
Me. Shotgun.
I was about to say. It's like, Grax.
Well, the second one's actually...
I know I've never met
for
you,
the
but you're
Mrs.
basically my best
the
friend.
Mrs.
Just give me the
version,
code.
but she doesn't like to play betas because and quite rightly, like I understand some people don't like to participate in betas and alphas because it can ruin your end game experience knowing what's going to happen.
It does.
Because you can, depending on how they do it, you can get to a certain point in the game and it goes no further or whatever.
It's also
because
losing your
it's
progress.
beta.
Like you might play the beta for 5 hours or something like that, and you kind of make all your progress, but then the servers always get reset, so you lose all that, and it kind of takes some of the magic out of it a little bit.
Yeah, and then you go full release, and it's like the first 5 hours.
Oh, I've done all this. So it's like you're like, fucking, you're just trying to get back to that point.
I get that.
Then you just rush through it.
That doesn't happen for me though. Like I enjoy it several times, but I understand there are people out there that would rather just get it on launch day or however long after and play.
Spending $100 on the base game just for the luxury of playing a beta, potentially 2 to 3 weeks before it actually releases. And $100 on the digital game
that's crazy. Like,
is
bullshit.
$100.
I don't do it for that reason. I don't pre-order just for that purpose.
100. Yeah, no. See, like you said, you go get your helmet, you get your goodies, but I don't know. For me, $100 on a digital download, like that's ridiculous.
It's a lot. Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
But that's going to be the final purchase price anyway. So
you'll be able to get
how much you're
cheaper
paying for it. I think it was, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So in other news, we've actually got Fortnite is in the news quite a lot recently, how it's corrupting our children and how it's just corrupting them. Is that what I just said?
You just repeated
I just repeated myself, did I?
You repeted yourself.
Sorry, I was too busy. There's a lot
of corruption.
There's a lot of corruption. Sorry, I'm too busy
It's almost
reading
like there's a
the website.
warlock involved.
So schools are banning a particular dance called flossing that is that comes from Fortnite. So it's probably something that everyone's probably seen if you're on the internet, where your particular character or who you are, you're shaking your hips and throwing your arms about from side to side. Even sort of images are coming out of famous like soccer players are doing it when they score goals and things like this. But the premise behind the flossing is if you actually kill someone in the game, of course, you run over their corpse, and it's maybe considered the modern day teabagging. This flossing.
How is that offensive though? Like,
so what schools are sort of seeing is particular kids, and in some cases bullies, are using this particular dance as an intimidation sort of technique towards other kids. Now that's.
Can I suggest that perhaps the schools implement some form of discipline around bullying?
No, got to blame the games.
Maybe.
It's always the games.
Or perhaps the children's parents enforce what games their children play, maybe.
If only parents had some way of stopping their 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds from doing something they don't want to do. I don't know. When I was younger, it was called the back of the hand.
Or I can't do that anymore.
It's always that like parents, they rather than actually doing some parenting themselves, it's like, no, it's the fucking movie, it's the fucking game. There's no way that I could possibly be controlling my child.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it.
So, like, I look back to there was a few weeks ago, a Current Affair did a bit of a thing on Fortnite and how it's, children's behaviors are changing because of it. And they were really making the game out to be terrible, and how games in general are terrible, and how it's, turning our children into little monsters. But then when you actually look at the kids, they're actually completely happy, completely fine. And there was one example, I think, where the mother of like a child or a young boy was sort of saying, I can't get him off the bloody thing and all this type of thing. And then, the actual news segment that the cameraman was following her, she's like, all right, come on, time for school. And immediately the kid just jumps off.
He turns it off.
And he turns it off. He's like, okay. And it's like, that was a complete
piece of journalism ever.
Opposite to what you just said.
At least get him to throw a tantrum if you're trying to present the point that he's, and do the sneaky pinch on the leg and make him cry.
Behind
something
scenes.
like seriously,
and then there's other things where it's like, there's two brothers are sitting on the couch, and the journalist is asking, why are you playing? And they're like, oh, because we have fun. I was like, oh, God forbid the child has a bit of fun. So I don't know.
I don't see the problem with it, and it's also like Fortnite. It's like all kind of cartoons, and like it seems. You are killing people, but it's not violent. It's not like blow their head off and they're fucking, blood spurting over it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not Doom,
No.
You would put a 12-year-old in front of the
Doom back in the day. Far out.
But you go back 10 years, it was like Minecraft was the big problem. I remember seeing Minecraft on the news because it was consuming children's lives, because all they're doing is just spending hours and hours on it. It's like, it's never.
It's like, what do you want? Like, they can be out on the street, getting abducted by pedophiles, or they can be safely at home playing video games.
And it's like,
and as long as their parents are monitoring and enforcing rules around their screen time and their behaviour, then what's the problem? The problem is that's not being done clearly.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, out of the three of us, I mean, Grax, you're the only one really in a position to know what it's like to actually manage children.
Yeah.
The only interactions I have with children is being able to give them back to the parent. I'm done now. I'll take your child.
It's definitely not easy. Like, you know, we sort of sit here and joke and carry on and whatever, but any kid from any age right up into their teenage years, if they want to do something and you don't want them to do it, there's going to be a level of conflict for a while. You have to set an example and you have to hold to it. Like very early on with my kids, they were allowed to play games for, you know, games that I deemed to be okay. And the rules always were, when I tell you it's time to turn it off, it gets turned off, or I come over and I switch off the PC.
Like,
and no matter what they're in the middle of. And I had to do that a couple of times. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, you just got to, you know, if your kids can't be disciplined that way, you're far out. What are you doing? I'm not saying I'm an awesome parent or anything like that. Like,
well, look, your kids are surviving and they seem happy.
It seems like, I mean, I don't have kids, but it seems like kids would get really annoying and you can go, look, here, just go play this and, like, give me some time to myself. So it's like win-win for everyone.
Well, that's the thing, like, and it's a generalization, of course, but I think some parents use Xbox, PlayStation, PC,
as a babysitter,
you know, or your other as an electronic babysitter.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they create the rod for their own back, because when it's time to do other productive things like go outside and live in the sunshine, they don't want to do it. So
it's like, can't you just be like
set the
when I was a
ground
kid and
rules
go
early
just throw
and
rocks at someone's house or something? Come on, guys.
Oh.
Like, I throw a tantrum all the time when I have to go outside. Like, the graphics,
what I've noticed is, like,
NPCs are terrible.
Well, I remember when I was a kid that you'd, like, walk around the streets and there'd be kids all over the streets. Like, you go around now and there's just, you never see kids anymore.
It's
like,
great.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, it's fantastic. But it's like I guess they're all inside gaming or whatever, or, you know, something. But
well, look, it's
I think it's, but yeah, it's just,
you know, sure, there comes a point where addiction probably kicks in, but, you know, would you rather be addicted to games or addicted to meth?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
That's a great.
If you don't let your kid play Fortnite, he's going to go out, or him or her, and they're going to get meth.
We are not psychologists.
Yeah,
and we have.
That's what always happens.
We have no credibility in this topic. But look, at least playing
Chris's
games.
comments do not reflect those of the controller.
No, at least playing games in Fortnite, you won't lose your teeth. Unless you've been intimidated by people at schools doing the flossing dance, maybe you will. You know, a bit of a smack.
And they might slip and punch you down.
All right, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky next.
Yep.
Came out.
Is it the miracle? Is it the miracle the gaming computing community has been waiting for?
So I think have
they finally delivered on their initial promise?
I think time will tell. Time will tell. But so No Man's Sky Next came out 10 p.m. West Australian time yesterday. Was it 10 p.m.?
I think so.
It was about 10 p.m., give or take.
That's what
that was midnight for us over here.
24th of July, US time. It dropped. It is now here. At this point in time, Brett and I have played about an hour and a half of it today, just before before the recording. And so I think we probably need a bit more time in it. And I think over the next sort of couple of weeks, we will continue to play it. But early impressions are...
we wanted to play it and kind of give a decent review, but the problem is we were spending most of our time actually just getting used to the new sort of because they've changed so much of the game that I played it when it initially came out a lot. Like, I probably put in 20 or 30 hours when it first came out. The game's like totally different now. So
that's what I'm going to say
in a positive way.
That was going to be my first question. So is it really like, yeah, of course it's the same game, but is it actually the same game, or have they changed it that much to...
I mean, they've changed like all the elements and stuff, like down to the point of it's not like you don't collect the same element to do the same job. It's like all that sort of stuff's changed.
Put it this way.
So they changed crafting and everything.
About 2 weeks ago, I picked up No Man's Sky in anticipation for this, and I started playing it. I put about 4.5-5 hours into it. I started a fresh game. Originally, I had about, 15 hours or something on a previous save where I had a lot more progression into the game. So I decided to restart it because it had been so long since I played it. And already today, in the first hour and a half, I'm still trying to figure out how to play the game.
Yeah.
Now, albeit... caveat, I didn't start from a tutorial. I just picked up my character, and then Brett and I joined up. Multiplayer, that's the big plus. You can actually see, other characters. You can see their ships. So that was the biggest thing they need. So Brett and I were running around a planet. Fantastic. I think that's awesome that that's finally in. But I had to feel like I was relearning the game. Because I didn't know what minerals were what. They've completely changed them. There seems to be, there is new mechanics in terms of, refining minerals, in turning certain minerals into different types of metals and things like that. So it's adding.
But they still have the in-game, this like a Wikipedia that tells you what does what, or do you have to discover it yourself through trial and error?
There doesn't seem to be that much info. I didn't see an in-game Wikipedia.
Because I've only got 4 hours in it and that was from back at release, and I got hooked onto Conan or something else and stopped playing. But I seem to remember some sort of tutorial or something.
There is a tutorial that takes you through all the basics, but what it often is like, okay, so now there's like 2 forms of carbon. There's carbon and there's condensed carbon.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't explain how to get condensed carbon, but I think that's quite common with survival games where you do have to just work it out or just trial and error. We worked out eventually you got to put it into a refinery.
Yes,
and then you
which
get
is
condensed carbon. But
spoilers.
that was never. I don't think it's a spoiler. That was never explained to us.
I'm kidding.
Unless, I mean, my game was like a couple of hours in. Unless you start right from the start, and it might explain it.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
I'm honestly, like I said, my character that I was just using was about 4.5 hours in. I will potentially look at restarting it, I think.
Yeah.
And just to see how the very beginning is, how it's changed and how it potentially explains things. So I think that probably did make it more difficult for us because we were returning to previously used characters and not starting from scratch.
Starting afresh,
but
yeah.
Look, from what we've seen, I think it's actually got so far the foundations the foundation was always there in terms of what No Man's Sky was, but with all these new additions, I think it's a massive step in the right direction.
The only thing I noticed, like with the multiplayer, is what I found was, I don't know if you noticed, we just kind of ended up just kind of doing our own thing anyway, and we just happened to be in the same game. Like, we land at the same place, and then we just go off looking for minerals, and then someone will get in their ship and go a bit further on, and then you just go for like 20 minutes, and you're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing this. And it's like, the fact that we're in the same game, I could see after all wouldn't actually make that much difference. Like,
I think that was
unless you got like built a base together or something like that.
Yeah,
I
suppose.
Can you cooperate to build shit together, or do you have to form a clan or something? Or?
No, I don't think you'd form a clan, but what you can do is people that are in your same party can actually manipulate, add, and subtract things from your base. Yeah. So if I had a base and then you guys, I got all these different rooms connected to it, and you guys join my party, you can go and continue to expand on that. So, and add to it.
Because you mentioned something about other people being able to randomly join. Is that a setting you can?
Yeah, you can
turn on or off.
Yeah, I think you have shared bases. So if you can turn that off, and then if someone joins your game, they can't fuck with your base. But if you're in a shared base, then it's kind of just a free for all.
Yeah.
So it's like an option.
Yes, but look, I think because of the situation that we're in, I can sort of understand what you're saying there about, we're kind of doing our own thing, but because we were at different points, like the one example I'm sure what you're probably thinking of is trying to build up, hyperdrive fuel, for example. But that was just, I think, purely came down to the fact that, you had leftover minerals from another planet. I didn't, and we were on a planet that didn't have those minerals. So you had yours ready to go, and I was like, oh shit, well, I have to now leave this planet, go back to the previous planet to find the appropriate mineral to refine that into a metal and then turn that into the fuel. So, but I think that's just also part of the learning curve right now, for us. So I think that'll quickly diminish.
The other thing we weren't sure about, which we were kind of disagreeing on, I think it seems to me that it's like multiplayer, but you can only have 4 players in a game at the same time. Chris seems to
more like co-op.
Yeah, like Conan.
It's not really an MMO.
Yeah, but Chris seems to think that it's like an open universe where you can run into people, but I don't. Well, it didn't present that way to me, and I can't actually. So just reading the notes now,
because one of the things I'd like to think that you'd have more than 4 people. I'd like to think it's one server. And everything's persistent. Because one thing, when I actually entered the game, I got a pop-up to say, do you wish for your base to be discovered by other people? Yes or no? And I went, yes. So that, to me, would
that was just the base sharing thing, isn't it?
No, because because previously, before the update, and I took over a base on a planet, I actually got a pop-up to say, would you like other people to discover this base? And I was like, yeah, well, as part of the whole No Man's Sky experience, yeah, other people can find it. That's not a problem. I got the same pop-up when I logged in today for the first time after the update, and I'm assuming it's maybe just a reset to sort of see if you still want that. So I'd like to think if you're at exploring the world with people that have that turned on, I would be able to discover their bases.
It doesn't even say on here. Okay, so it says on the actual website, team up with a small group of friends and explore the universe together, or be joined by random travelers. Help friends stay alive or prey on others to survive. So maybe that kind of indicates you can find other people.
Yeah, so
there's nothing specifically...
Prey on other players.
Yeah,
yes.
There's nothing that specifically says that it's everyone in the same universe, though.
Well,
and also, like, there's not going to be... What if 100 players...
PvP douchebaggery.
If 100 players go to the same planet, can 100 players all see each other? I don't think it would be able to handle that.
I'd hope so. Like, if they're not, then that's a big letdown. But the fact that they can sort of say, prey on other players, like, because there was during the Xbox announcement when Sean Murray was like, yep, this is it, and you will be able to prey on other players. There was like, if that's so, the way you're inclined for PvP, you want to do that, then you can.
Yeah, but he said a lot of stuff.
He has said a lot of stuff.
That doesn't mean
So what's the back-end infrastructure then? Is it running on their servers, or are you hosting out to the net?
I thought you're hosting. That's what I thought. I thought you're...
If you're hosting, that doesn't sound like you can support...
You are.
100
I'm pretty sure that's how it's working.
Well, that's going to be disappointing. I'd like to think in this entire infinite universe with 18 quintillion billion planets that there's supposed to be, that's not a number, but you get the picture, that there's more than just 4 people in it.
I agree, and that would be cool. And I thought it's like you can see each other's bases. You might just see the bases there, but it doesn't mean you can actually see the players.
Oh, that will be
because that's much harder to do, to have like lots of players running around. You can have like a base that might
the base is static. It's not going to move.
Easy,
not going to jump.
But dynamic player
it's not going to floss dance next to you.
Yeah. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. It's just the way, like, you know why? You know why? I think
maybe check in the next podcast.
This is why I think I'm right, because if it was like all the players all together at once, they would be advertising the fuck out of that. It's not clear, and such a big feature, they're going to say that. It's like if you bought a car that can go, buy a Bugatti Veyron, it can go 400 k's an hour. That's the main thing they say. It goes 400 k's an hour. It's not like it's just kind of a feature that they don't really talk about. The big features they always talk about, they're not very clear about it. That's why I think I'm right.
Remains to be seen. We'll have to check it out.
Well, look, for now you can play with friends.
Yeah.
Which is
it's better than it was. I mean, before it was a fucking orb.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, the orb was an upgrade.
Oh, what's this? While wandering the galaxy solo, continue to experience chance encounters with strange floating orbs.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Isn't that the
really?
orbs? That's what it was before, where it's like you see
better
an
not
orb
be.
player.
Kidding.
No. But why do I want to sort of feel... I feel like I'm remembering something that was spoken about this, and it wasn't the orbs were players. There was some sort of like memento to like the previous sort of versions of the game.
But this is under the multiplayer section. Orbs.
All right. More investigating is required.
I think you can... well, maybe it's a bit of both, and you can see the other players, but they're probably orbs.
I hope not.
Fucking orbs.
No.
And you just see your friends.
Hang on. If that's the case, though, why would they go to the trouble of introducing the new mechanic of creating the look of your character
so your friends can see it?
So your friends can see you.
Yeah.
On the topic of character customization...
we could probably just talk about this all night, or one of us will just Google it. But yeah,
who doesn't have a mechanical keyboard that can quietly, silently, quickly Google while the rest of us continue?
It'll be if you check the subreddit for No Man's Sky, they'll be talking about that very soon.
So character customization, I think, is pretty damn cool in the game. So
they have races and stuff.
They do. They do. They've got 5 different races. There's the 3 main ones. There's like the Gek, the Viking, not Viking like, Norse thing. It's like VYKEN or something, or Viking or something.
Viking.
I'm trying to pronounce it. There's an apostrophe there as well. The other one I think was Korvax. It was like a robotic one. But then they've got 2 other ones, which is the Traveler and Anomaly. So sorry to jump in. Do the races have specific benefits? So, like, if you're the robot, No,
Do
it's
you
purely
not
cosmetic.
have to breathe and
Well, no.
Right.
Okay. So one
Like
of the character that I'm currently playing for my head is basically a glowing light with revolving like halos that are kind of just revolving around the light. And so I don't actually have
As
a
weird as it sounds.
Chris has
Yeah.
got a bright idea. Bing.
Yeah, I don't have a head, but I go underwater because you can now swim, which is, I think, awesome. And I still have to breathe. I'm like, I don't have a nose. So, like, I don't have a head. So that was kind of annoying. I would have liked, maybe like just the touch or the finesse of the fact that I don't have a head. Therefore, I don't need to breathe underwater because I don't think that's really like game breaking. But then there's also other heads where you actually look like a fish. You know, I picked a particular one that made me look, I think, like a shark. You know, so maybe I think that would be an opportunity to have, you go underwater and you've got an underwater base. You don't actually have to worry about breathing mechanics, but I don't think that's the case. But yeah, so you got 5 different races and each one has different color schemes. You can change how your like torso, your armor, your legs, your boots, your gloves all look. So you can sort of mix and match different cosmetics, and also change your head. You can change the color, and it's all free. So there's actually they're not sort of locked behind any sort of, achievement or reputation status. You can actually be any of them from the get-go, which I think is pretty cool as well. So, actually there's a lot more customization in it than I thought there would be. There's no sliders or anything like that. So you're not picking different, sort of sizes or anything like that. But, overall, I thought it was quite cool. Brett, you're just on the website now. What's that you're looking at?
There's a galactic atlas now, and it's basically a giant map of the galaxy, and it looks like players put up where their bases are and stuff like that.
Oh.
So you get your coordinates and you can work out where to go to see all the different points of interest around the
Do
galaxy.
they manually upload that to the thing? Or is the
I'm
game
not
do
sure.
that
I'm just
for them?
having a look now.
I think there are ways to
That'd be
manually
cool
upload.
if the game sort of said they are.
Yeah, it needs more research.
It's probably
but
one of those things that
there's lots of stuff in there. So
they're all on the outskirts of the universe.
yeah, it looks like that's where
It's
everyone
like-
starts. So
All right. Well, perhaps we put a few more hours in it together and
it sounds like we don't
report back in the
talking
next
about-
episode.
Yeah.
Well, that's to say, like the moment, we've already put an hour and a half in, so it's the very first impressions, and there's a lot more to go. Because one thing I really want to put some effort into it. Because one thing I think is very cool is the fact that in the previous version you could buy giant freighters. I mean, you need a lot of time to make money and buy one of these things, but now you can buy multiple freighters, and from your central command ship is actually give those other freighters missions and jobs in other galaxies or systems, and off they go and go do what they need to do and bring you money back and things like that, which I think is very cool. All your friends can get their ships and land on your freighter now and all run around the same freighter, and off you go as one giant ship, which I think is also very cool. Third person, I think, is a great addition to it because now you get to see your character. You can fly in third person. Just adding a different perspective, I think, is very cool. Sorry, we also talked before about, you guys were talking about the end game. We did sort of briefly touch on that. So the base game, when it first released, that's what you guys have got as the main sort of end game. You get to the center of the galaxy and that's it. But in the Atlas update, they've actually added like about a 30-hour campaign where you get to do stuff and actually do missions. That you can also, I'm not sure if it came out in the Atlas update, it could have been the Foundation one, but on space stations, you can actually get bounty missions where you can go down to planets and scan materials or scan wildlife or kill wildlife and hunt things to actually get rewards out of them as well. So you actually do have quests and side quests that you can do now. So there's a lot more direction to what they used to be, or you can just purely free explore as much as you want.
One thing I thought was cool is the actual, when you look at the planets now, like it used to be, you would see a planet and it's like kind of red and green and stuff. You fly towards it, the planet would change into like a blue planet or something just totally different. And what the planet actually looked like had no relation to the actual ground.
Mm-hmm.
Now you fly in and we were actually flying into this red planet and it had like a massive blue ocean in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this will be interesting to see because back in the old game, it would actually change and you wouldn't, you didn't get big oceans and stuff. It was all kind of just the same wherever you go. And we went in and it stayed exactly the same. It was like, and it had a massive ocean. The ocean was there. And we landed next to it and, went for a little swim in it and it's all the same thing. So you can see it from space and you can fly in and it's this basically, it changes slightly, but it's very, very close. which is I think is really good.
I think it doesn't sound like a huge deal. Oh, like, okay, the color stays the same, but I think in terms of just the immersion of it,
it's the immersion. Yeah, definitely,
it's a huge plus.
Yeah, that was actually. Hang on, sorry, you just pulled the.
Did I? Oh, sorry, pulled a cable.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, no, it to me it's a big immersion thing because I hated it before where you would see a planet and you're like, that looks cool. You know, it's like a lava planet and it's like, I want to go and find lava. You go down there and it's just like, I don't know, fucking jungle. It's just really annoying. So,
base building has been revamped as well. So in the previous versions, you would actually start with a particular dome for a base and you would just add on to it. Now you can build anywhere and everywhere with more sort of customization options that you've ever had before. So you don't actually need to find a base that is habitable already on a planet that's already predetermined. You can just go wherever you want and just start putting walls up and ground. So that's actually in the ocean as well. So you can build underwater bases now. So a lot more options. So look, I think there's a lot of good things to come in No Man's Sky. I'm looking forward to getting put more hours into it. Like I said, still very early impressions right now, but I think it's got the right building blocks for it. It's always had the right building blocks, but now there's finally been built on.
Yeah, it's a full game now, it feels like.
And they've put it together.
Yeah, so we'll definitely, I think, continue to talk about No Man's Sky in future episodes. But been burnt in the past, like its first release. So we'll just not get too excited about it just yet. So,
cool.
Jurassic World Evolution. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Is that what it's called? So,
yeah.
So you guys have been playing
keep wanting to say Jurassic Park, don't you?
A little bit. Keep getting, is it Jurassic Park? Is it Jurassic World? And then, Brett throws a curveball in there. It's like, no, it's Evolution. I'm like, fuck, there's a third one. Look, you guys have actually been playing this a bit over the last sort of couple of weeks. I don't know maybe if you've given up on it yet, but if you're still going, it's still relatively new. Tell us about it. What is it? Why should I be playing Jurassic World? Because I don't. It doesn't interest me.
Brett actually
try and convince me. Change my mind.
First brought it up. What was it? E3 last year, Brett, where you were really interested in.
Yeah.
You spoke about it on the podcast when they announced it or something.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big.
Why don't you kick it off?
Well, I'm a massive Jurassic Park fan. I thought when I was a kid, I loved Jurassic Park, and then The Lost World I loved when I was a kid, although I watched it again recently. It's fucking trash, but it was good when I was a kid. And I don't really like Jurassic World, but anyway, Chris is dying over there. As a sort of, this game is like, it was like a dream come true for me to be able to build your own dinosaur park. And it's just like something that I've always wanted. So, this is coming from a huge fanboy. But I really love the game. I probably played for about 20 hours and then was like, it did run out of content and I was like, okay, I'm bored suddenly.
Yeah.
But as a sort of, it's a very functional sort of park builder. If you've played it's made by Frontier, which is the same company that makes Elite Dangerous and
Planet, the Theme World, Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster as well.
So if you've played Planet Coaster, you've got a good idea of what the game's like. All the sort of, it uses the same engine and the interface is quite similar, although it sort of focuses more on the dinosaurs and sort of their welfare and stuff like that, rather than, it doesn't go into the full micromanagement that you would have with like Planet Coaster.
You can dive into it though, I noticed. So when you put your various kiosks and shops in to keep your customers happy, you can get into the micromanagement level if you want to about increasing prices. And
there's a little bit, like there is a bit of it.
There's a little bit, but it's not over the top.
It's quite limited. You can't like
crazy.
individually click a like a patron and see what he's interested in and all that. It's all very general. It doesn't go super specific.
I'll tell you what though, when you click on a fence and destroy it, the dinosaurs get out. Those patrons run.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it didn't take me long to have like a couple of raptors running around just like murdering everyone.
So what triggers the dinosaur attacks? So can they happen randomly or do you have to like let them out as part of the fun?
No. Basically, they generally will get out at some point. What happens is they have like a comfort meter And some dinosaurs get angrier easier than other dinosaurs do. So generally like T-Rex, raptors, Spinosaurus, all that. They have a very low tolerance for like anything. So basically you'll have a storm come in, they get pissed off just because there's a storm and they'll just start smashing the wall. And I found no matter what wall you put up, they tend to get through it.
You just put like another wall up.
You could, yeah. Some players have done that.
Okay.
But they'll take the wall down and then basically they'll just go on a rampage through your park. It's your job to sort of round them up. It's kind of cool. Like you've got like a ACU helicopter, which is an asset control unit that will fly around and shoot them with like darts to like tranquilize them. And then you transport them back to their cage, I suppose. But you can actually fly the helicopter yourself, which is kind of cool. So you're like going in and like you're chasing the T-Rex around.
But it's still like
same with the ground response unit in the Jeep. You can let the computer do it, or you can click on the Jeep and drive it. The Rangers. So they do all the food and they repair the fence and stuff like that. So there's like different, and they do the medicine and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. So there's kind of different teams that do different things. The game has met a lot of negative reviews. Some people don't like it, but I think you really need to be into dinosaurs and stuff to like it.
What's then drawing those negative reviews?
Yeah, or dinosaurs, or I would say it is a fairly cool theme park simulator too, like compared to, Roller Coaster Tycoon and the other Frontier game that we already spoke about that's escaping me. Planet Coaster. Like, it's like that. Except instead of having rides, you've got your various dinosaur attractions and you set up your viewing platforms and your shops and your kiosks. And as we already said, you don't go into the huge amount of detail that those other games do, but it really is about the dinosaurs and keeping them happy, their welfare, making sure that they don't get sick. And if they do get sick, you give them medicine and blah, blah, blah.
I found the sort of end game, though, is a bit limited. Like once I got through, I don't know how much you've played, Grax, but once I'd unlocked all the islands, that took me 10, 15 hours. You get the last island you get is basically the island that Jurassic Park was built on. And it's like, you just have unlimited money. Once you get to there, you're like the motivation runs out very quickly because you're like, well, who cares now? Like there's nothing left to unlock. There's still different.
I ran out of patience before then. So so there's 4 islands. I got to the second island, and obviously, there's different. Each island's different. There's different problems that you encounter. There's different things, and there's a bit of a storyline that you follow through the game that it sort of doesn't hold your hand, but it gives you suggestions about what to do and what to fix. And as you I imagine on the 3rd and 4th island when you get there, there's shit broken that you have to fix before it becomes operational and stuff like that. Is that?
Yeah. Well, you
I got to the second island and
I don't want to spoil
had to fix the storm shelter and fix this and fix that.
Yeah.
And
there's issues
make
with
it
all the islands.
profitable, and then I got bored.
It's kind of cool because it's got like if you're into Jurassic Park, it's got Ian Malcolm, which is one of the original characters. Like I can't remember what the actor's name is now. But he's voicing.
It's not Jeff Goldblum, is it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. Yes, he actually voices it.
They seem to.
So it's very authentic sort of feeling.
So how much flexibility and control over do you have actually designing the park? So, because you're talking about sort of an island. So I think about, say, SimCity or something. And when that first released, you would have just a blank slate and you would design the layout in whatever way you wanted. You want the roads to go this way, you want train lines to go that way, or whatever it might be. But I was kind of looking at some images and videos of Jurassic World Evolution, and it looked like maybe the starting island, it was sort of going kind of like long ways in a way. Yeah. And there was sort of like a big road that went down the middle, and there was just people. It seemed very set in.
Yes.
Okay, put this building here and put that building there.
So when you start, Brett kids probably talk about Island 3 and 4 because I didn't get that far. But on Island 1 and 2, there are certain buildings and certain structures that you need to build to have like things work in the game, and there's things that are already there. And there's some of the things that are already there you might want to build another 1 or 2 at other locations. So you've got a little bit of freedom about where you put stuff. But at least on the first 2 islands, there's a whole heap of stuff already built that you sort of expand on and build around, and how you do that is kind of up to you.
Well, but as you go on, there's actually 5 islands, Greg. Sorry to correct you.
Oh, there's 5, is it?
Yeah, well, the 5th one is like the unlimited one. But what it is like you'll see like this beautiful island that you just want to build all over, but it's like there's like invisible barriers. So it kind of it fences you in.
Yeah.
So you'll be trying to build somewhere and there's just like this kind of white wall comes up and you just can't. It's like, no, sorry, you can't build there.
Because I think about Planet Coaster. Now, I didn't really play it, but when I've seen videos and images, so please correct me if I am wrong, but when it comes to designing the roller coasters, you can kind of design them to go in whatever way that you want. Like, to me, that sounds like a good level of freedom to go, I want to do 10 loops in a row because I hate people when I see them throw up.
I don't want anyone to come to
100%.
But then on Jurassic World, it seems kind of like they are very, like you say, they're limited by these invisible walls. So.
It's that. I mean, you can put your fences wherever you want, and within the confines of where those things are, you can do what you want. Like you do get given some starter buildings, but you can just demolish them and rebuild them if you want. So you do get the
you
customization.
can modify the land, and you can put in rivers and lakes and hills, and
the reason why I guess
terraforming.
The reason why I kind of bring it up is because when you talk about end game for something like Jurassic World Evolution, like you got bored after 15, 20 hours because you felt like you've done everything. To me, things like then SimCity and Planet Coaster, the end game of bringing people back is just the natural creativity that people have to create something different compared to what they've done before.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like this really potentially has it.
There's some amazing, I've seen on the subreddit, there's some amazing builds and people with what they're given have built incredible parks.
Yeah.
So you definitely can be pretty creative, but it's really just like you can see all this land, but you can't build on all the land. It's similar to like SimCity where you would, I don't know if you played that, SimCity 5, was it? Where you would be like, you're just restrained to like a small area. That's kind of what it feels like. You just run out of space and you're like, well...
Yeah, you got to kind of try and fit the stuff you want in the box that they've given you, basically.
A cool thing is like... sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, anything in that box, as we said, you can change. You can terraform. You got to run your power, your water. The dinosaurs need water. They need foods. So, like Brett said before, different dinosaurs need different conditions, obviously. And certain dinosaurs will get the shits if they've got too much sunlight or too much trees or not enough water. So you can influence their behavior by giving them what they want or potentially giving them what they don't want.
A cool thing to do is is like dinosaur battles. So you have a T-Rex and then you get
two dinosaurs enter.
You'll be like, then I'll breed a Spinosaurus, put the Spinosaurus in there. They'll have a massive fight. Those fights actually... So the dinosaur that wins their ranking increases. The dinosaur gets it becomes like a higher, like a celebrity dinosaur almost, and it actually draws in more people into the park. Yeah. So the dinosaur battles, it's kind of weird because you think, you're supposed to be making a zoo, yet you're like pitting these animals against each other.
I even had. So on the first island, I had two separate pens. I had one for the herbivores, one for the carnivores, and. Even after a certain amount of time, the carnivores will just get the shits with each other and start randomly attacking each other.
Yeah, you can't have the carnivores
attack each other, or they'll attack the fence.
You can't have a carnivore area because you can only have one. Basically, the only thing is I had a T-Rex and some raptors, and they seem to tolerate each other. But if you have like two big carnivores in one pen, they will kill each other.
It's fun to watch.
One of them has to be the alpha.
Yeah, there's a bunch of problems with the game, like basically what I said about the end game thing, and it's kind of got this like. It feels like a mobile game because it's like every time you want to research.
Didn't I say that?
Did you?
Okay. So when we go back to E3, when it was like first announced, and you're like, fuck yeah. And I was like, no, this looks shit. This looks like a mobile game.
No, but that's not, it's more one of the mechanics of the game is to get the fossils. You have to like go to dig sites. So you like click on the dig sites and then it goes to a timer and then you get more fossils. Okay. So it's got this like constant thing where you're like going out. And you just you've got everything on a timer all the time.
But could you play Jurassic World Evolution if it became a mobile game?
I guess so. No, it wouldn't run. It wouldn't run on the phone.
I'm not saying it would be if it was designed for it.
The graphics are really stunning, really good. So
I'm not saying I'm talking about graphics wise, but I'm talking about in terms of if I had.
You think it's so basic?
To me it feels. No, I don't think that was my first impression when I saw the announcement trailer. I was like.
When I say mobile game, I don't mean the actual gameplay. I mean like some of the mechanics of the games like mobile game. Yeah. There's some other problems with the game. There's no day and night cycle, so it's just like the same thing all the time. And the dinosaurs don't sleep or anything, so it's kind of like it'll just be like daytime all the time. And it's like there's no sort of like with Planet Coaster, there was a day and night cycle, which is kind of cool, But they just didn't. Maybe they didn't have enough time to put all that stuff into the game, but it just feels like why didn't they have a day and night cycle?
How much is it on? Is it on Steam?
Yeah, it's like $60.
So it's a full price game.
So what I would say is if you're a massive dinosaur nerd and you love Jurassic Park and Jurassic World and all that,
Want 15 to 20 hours out of
you'll probably
your
like it. Like
$100.
I'm glad I bought it and I really loved it.
Okay.
But like Chris, who's not into that stuff, I'd say no, definitely don't buy it.
Not for that price.
Yeah, you've really got to be. You've got to be into that.
I can say because I like sim games, like I like SimCity, I like Planet Coaster, stuff like that. And I have just looking at Steam now. I played it for 4 hours and I got bored, but I enjoyed those 4 hours. And I probably shot myself in the foot in the sense that I followed the quest line and did everything I should, but I just wanted to see the dinosaurs eat people. So I manually broke the fences and.
So you spent $100 on a game.
It wasn't $100. It wasn't $100.
It was 110.
Oh, sorry, it was 110. You got the collector's edition.
Yeah, you got the collector's.
I'm pretty sure I paid 50.
It came with a T-Rex hat. It came with a raptor head because chase his kids.
$50 I paid for it. But so I did all of that and like it was fun. I enjoyed it. Like
for the 4 hours.
Yeah, for 4 hours. But that's going back to the way I judge the price of a game. That's on par with how much
I don't know. To me, I judge if I'm going to be spending $100 on a game, I want at least.
Where did the 100 come from?
How did you get it for 50?
I'm sorry,
It's never been discounted yet, so I don't know how you got it.
I'm sure I paid
$50 US, probably US dollars.
That's still not $100.
Did you get off Steam? No, sorry. Okay, so when I say 100, I'm generalizing to a AAA.
It's probably $70
full retail price game
or $80. Get it right.
Sorry. Anyway, but for a full retail price AAA game. I need minimum 40 hours.
How many games do you get 40 hours out of that are AAA? That's pretty rare. 20 hours is like standard.
30 to 40 if there's like a single player campaign game. 30 hours of a single campaign minimum. Any more I think is a bonus. It needs at least that. And because it's not just about the campaign, it's also the adding in the extras like exploring and doing some other bits and pieces that now games have just been so accustomed to.
What do you reckon, Brett? If you just stuck to the tutorial missions when those dudes pop up and say, "Hey, do this for me," I reckon it'd take you 10 hours to finish the game.
If you just like went through it
as quickly as possible. If you just did that and didn't explore, didn't check out any of the other stuff.
Well, I think I got to
literally went every time they said go do this, and you went and did it.
Oh yeah, you could probably get to unlock the final island in 10 hours, if that's what you're inclined to do. But there's still like unlocking all the dinosaurs and getting all the fossils and stuff takes time because of that mobile element type thing. So
yeah, that's the
but I mean, there's lots of games where you could just plow through them as quickly as possible. Doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well,
yeah, I think it's definitely fun, but not as Brett said. I think you need to be. It's more of a niche kind of.
It's really like
genre thing.
It's really you got to be into dinosaurs. You got. I know it sounds like a kid's thing, but like
maybe if you like Ark, give it a crack.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh, conversation for another time. That's a totally different genre altogether.
I never got into Ark.
Really?
I'll say, yeah.
All right. So, moving on. Quiz time, I think it is.
Oh, the quiz.
This time.
Oh, is that a dinosaur quiz?
God.
I'll smash Chris at that.
No, we're not doing
dinosaur
quiz. At least you two, because with you two being in the same sheet.
Exactly. That's why this time around, Grax, you are the quiz master. We are the contestants. And because we're in the same room,
got the same level of delay.
lag won't be a problem.
We have it. We got you to move back to Perth just to stop that.
Just for the control record quiz. That's the only reason why.
That's how much we care.
I know.
Stop the lag.
About fairness.
But don't think I'm being the quiz master every week then.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
That's going to be hard. Like if I would say I was the quiz master, I'm like sitting here with Chris looking at me, and he could just speak
hiding the stuff.
Yeah.
You'll have to send him in the.
And he just turns you down, like just turns you down on the mixer. Sorry. It's like, what's that, Grax? Oh, you break it up there. Sorry. Yeah, I guess you don't want to.
Straight internet. Shit. Yeah. All right, so we've got a general gaming quiz.
I thought we were doing space.
No, because I didn't want to lose
we
badly.
Don't want you to dominate. You'll probably still dominate, but you know.
Oh, fuck you. I see how it is.
So,
Brett quiz.
Okay. Are you ready?
We are ready.
Yep.
All right. Question number 1, multiple choice. So,
how many choices? ABC or ABCD?
Yeah, A, B, C, D, E.
Oh, it's 5 choices.
Don't jump in unless you know the answer.
Chris will jump in.
My recommendation.
No, I'm getting clarification on the choices, so I know when to start thinking about my answer.
And, same rule. It's been a while, but same rules as always. Say your name as your buzzer, and if you get it wrong,
what our
shut
names?
up.
You get one
Okay.
answer. Yeah, one shot.
Yep. All right. Go.
In the 1998 FPS classic Half-Life, what is the name of the facility that Gordon Freeman
Brett.
works at?
Fuck.
Oh, that was Brett.
It was.
Black Mesa?
Fuck.
Black Mesa?
Yes, Brett.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Fuck you. I knew that one.
And I didn't even get to give you the options.
Yeah. Talking to the experts here.
Yeah, true. Okay. The hugely popular Battlefield game series started with Battlefield 1942. Popular series is developed by DICE Digital Illusions. In which country was DICE founded and is
Brett.
currently based?
I have no idea.
Brett.
Hang on.
Oh,
Shit,
Top.
I know this.
Top.
It's in Europe somewhere.
Oh, well done.
Uh,
So it's in a continent.
Fuck. I want to say... I know it's not that, though. I've forgotten.
I think it's around that time.
I'm just going to say France, but I know it isn't.
Nah, incorrect.
Was this a
And
multiple
I'm
choice?
just giving you a bunch of...
multiple choice question.
Oh, is it? Oh,
So I'm going to give you the options now.
no! Fuck's sake.
You jumped in too soon. So, Chris, all answers for you. A, United Kingdom. B, Finland. C, Sweden. D, USA. Or E, Canada.
I still don't know, but
No pressure.
I mean, to be fair, like at the start of each question, you should probably just say it's multiple choice, just so we know.
Yeah, you
I
didn't.
don't know,
yeah,
see?
I think having said that, I should have another crack.
because we are going to want to jump in. Like, if we know the answer,
Well-
we're going to want to jump in. But I think we need to know if there's a heads up if there's
Well,
multiple
this
choice.
worked in your favour.
It did. Not really,
Yeah,
because I still know
so
what it is.
don't screw it up.
So this is okay. So I'm
One in
going to
five
say C, Sweden.
Correct.
You only knew that because I said it was Europe.
Well, it could have been
I
UK
gave
or
you-
Finland.
Woohoo!
Did he say
All
Finland?
right. So
He said Finland.
there you go. 1-1. Brett, Chris deadlocked after 2 questions. Okay, question number 3. This is not multiple choice,
Thank you.
although I'll be surprised if either of you know the answer. So this will be interesting.
Oh, okay.
In what game series, developed by Looking Glass Studios, where you play as the main protagonist, Garrett, the game was described by the developers as a first-person sneaker in
Brett.
a medieval steampunk Brett?
Thief.
More information.
Well, it's
Sneaky.
Thief is the game, isn't it called Thief?
Yeah, there's more
Garrett's
in the title though. I'll give it to you, but there's more in the title. What was the title of the
The
first
The
Thief.
game?
full title.
Yeah.
I just know the game's called Thief.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah. Don't know. That's all I got.
Thief 2.
Thief: The Dark Project was the title of the first.
I think
Oh,
I
that's
should
like-
get
that's
that.
like-
That's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Considering you said I wasn't going to get it, I knew the character's name.
I'm impressed, man. That was one of my favorite games. Actually, the series. I love the series. First PC stealth game to use light and sound as actual game mechanics, and
Oh yeah, I remember you would hide in the shadows and stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
a thief.
And the EAX audio and footsteps AI would react to. It was very cool. Well done game for the time. Long time ago, anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on. What is the name of the company that developed the games Wolfenstein 3D
Brett,
and Doom? Brett,
id Software.
congratulations. That is correct.
That's too easy. You knew that, didn't you, Chris?
Yes, you just-
I
you
saw
just
you
beat
look
me to
really
it.
disappointed. Yeah.
It was as soon as he said, yeah.
I've heard it pronounced as id before, but I've always called it ID.
No, it's definitely id because it's id
Yeah,
is
I know,
in the psychology
yeah.
thing for id. Yeah.
Mm.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. The more you know.
I used to call it ID Software until I
Yeah.
knew better.
Either way, you got it.
What
right.
question are we up to? Number
So,
5?
just a quick score recap.
The 2-1
We
or
have
3-1?
currently have
Be
Chris
3-1.
losing on 1 to Brett's 3. Question. What is the name? And Chris, if you don't get this, I'll be really disappointed. What is the name of the mythology-based action-adventure series for the PlayStation where you play as a Spartan warrior?
Chris. I'm playing it right now.
Chris.
God of War.
Correct. For an additional point.
Kratos.
That is correct.
That's not fair. That's like you know that he's playing that at the moment. You may as well just just say.
I didn't know what the follow-up question was going to be.
It's like,
but
what is Chris's name?
He took a gamble because I had two options for that question. But yes, the additional point question was, what's the name of the protagonist, which is Kratos. So
now we're on 3-3.
Because I kind of figured there'd be like no other question you could ask apart from his name.
Can you ask me about the exact game I'm playing now?
I had ones about. I had questions about what happened to his wife. Bloody blah.
Yeah, but he's literally just playing.
Killed by the god of war, Ares.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 3-3 with that little comeback.
I'm not happy about that question. That's just bullshit.
And this is the last question. So no tiebreak.
Is it just to be something that just Chris knows? Just something like. Yeah.
I'm hoping.
What is your mother's maiden name? Like,
actually, you should both.
Don't ask that one.
yeah, that one I definitely know. But yeah, we're not saying.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Which game in the Grand Theft Auto series was banned in 2001
Chris.
after?
Oh no, jumped too early. It's got to have to be Grand Theft Auto 3. It was banned in Australia. I heard you say banned, so I'm going to have to go with Grand Theft Auto 3.
That's correct.
Oh,
it was banned because of all
That's
this,
pretty
like the sex in cars.
The full question was banned in 2001 after it was already released in Australia and then re-released in 2002 after Rockstar made some changes.
Yeah, that's right. They
The sex
modified
in
it.
cars and the drugs.
It's the same as San Andreas. They took out the hot coffee scenes. They called it hot coffee. Yeah.
Yes, I do remember actually seeing I went to someone's house and they actually had the Grand Theft Auto 3 before it got banned.
I've still got it.
And that was the first time I sort of saw. I was like, hey, I'll just chuck this chick in the back of the car, and the car starts rocking and shit. It's just like, yeah.
It's hilarious because they issued a big recall saying, "I'll bring it back. We'll give you your money back." Blah blah blah. And it's like,
why
would you take it back?
We're banning this game because of the content. Bring it back to us. I'm like, you're fucking kidding. We'll keep it this.
I wonder if anyone bought it back.
I don't know. I would be surprised.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. So that's there you go. So it was released as MA15 plus, and then when it came to light about the whole sex in cars and paying for sexual favors, and then being able to kill the prostitute.
Yeah, murdering prostitutes is like that's the backbone that GTA is built on. It's like, why don't they take that out of it?
Yeah,
and then you look at something like Mass Effect. Now these days with the sex scenes in that, I suppose it was consensual.
Is there sex scenes in that?
Yeah, see tits and everything.
Well, it's consensual in Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, you're paying for it. So you said yes.
Yeah.
So
you're not like raping or anything. that would be fun.
Yeah, no, Mass Effect. That was one of the things is you can seduce and romance your crew, and depending which side of the table they bat on, you may get lucky, you might not.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
There
you go, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Chris
won. As your winner.
Wins with the epic
with a
comeback.
late stream from behind. Do you
at least agree that was kind of bullshit questions?
Why?
A little bit. Like God of War.
He didn't know I was playing God of War.
You were talking to him about it, weren't you?
No, I was talking to you about it.
No, I didn't. I had no idea.
I was talking to you about it an hour ago when I said...
just lucky then. All right, fair enough.
No, it was, because when
I knew he had God of War, but I didn't know he was
It's
playing
like if I went, okay, so say you were versing Chris, and I'm like, in the game Conan Exiles,
that would be a silly question.
Yeah, Conan.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know he was actually playing it because...
All right, you didn't know.
He mentioned that he stopped or didn't play it because he was playing Gorgon.
And I only picked it back up yesterday because I don't have a computer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
No, yeah, he's been playing it. Like,
honestly
he's literally,
so
that's what he's playing at the moment.
Yeah, because I don't have a computer.
Yeah.
So, hey, 4-3. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway.
This is what happens when you ask me to do the quiz questions 5 minutes before we go.
But
the space quiz.
That is all the time we have for this episode. Thank you so much for listening, if you still are. And of course, please jump onto iTunes. And also, actually, Google now have released their own podcast app, if you didn't know. Very handy to have if you're on the Android. So now we don't have to tell you to go searching for us. Just download the Google, not promoting them, but I think it's a very cool app because you can actually then
you are promoting them.
No, but see, because what you can do...
Google don't really need Chris's promotion.
No, they really don't.
It's not going to affect
but one thing I think
share price.
No, not in the slightest.
Needs another car.
But mine broke down. So please Please. And so what thing I think is very cool in the Google app is if you actually subscribe to us, specifically us, because it only works with us, is if you can actually set a widget to your home screen. So you can actually go straight to that particular page. So you see right there, Brett.
Yeah.
Right there in the middle on the left. That is the Control-Alt-Record widget that I can.
That's awesome.
I can click that right now. And it takes us to the Control-Alt-Record page.
When was our last episode?
24th of May.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That was a long time ago.
2 months.
2 months ago.
We've gone through some
Sorry
shit.
about
Oh, geez. All right. We did get really bad. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. We will endeavor to be back a little bit sooner than 2 months.
No, way sooner. Because
way
Chris,
sooner.
Chris lives around the corner now, and we have no excuse not to record.
No excuse. So we'll find one.
Yeah.
Anyway, jump onto Facebook, jump onto Twitter, send us an email with anything you'd like us to bring up and talk about. We'd love to hear from you.
We got an email too. Shout out to that cool dude.
Yeah, shout out to the guy that unfortunately.
Sorry, the guy that said when you do your podcast next.
Thank you.
Thank you very
We
much.
got hundreds
It's really
of those
nice.
emails.
So many.
The server broke. Like, it just fucking shut down.
I know. That's taken us 2 months to fix.
The outcry.
That's why.
Yeah.
Outcry.
Anyway,
Where's your podcast?
thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode. See ya.
Thanks, guys. See ya.